Welcome to the broadcast tonight. We look at the doctrine of preemptive action with David Sanger and Max Boot.
That's really a continuation of American policy going back decades. During the Cold War, we never said that we would subscribe to a no first-use policy on nukes because we thought we had to keep our deterrent potential. Now, in that case, we were trying to deter larger Soviet land armies. Now we're trying to deter rogue regimes that may hide weapons of mass destruction in such a way that there's no good way to get them out. And so we have to reserve that nuclear option. But it's really a threat. It's not something that we're planning to really do, I hope.
This is a codification of exactly the warning that Secretary of State Jim Baker sent to Saddam Hussein in 1991, just before the Gulf War. And American officials believe that that is one reason that Saddam Hussein never used his chemical weapons or any other weapon of mass destruction against American troops.
Also this evening, a conversation with Lance Armstrong.
There's so many different things you can do in cycling. You can climb, you can time trial, you can sprint. There's a lot of little mini disciplines within the sport. But for what I do for the tour, you have to have a balance of them all. You have to be able to climb with the best, time trial with the best. And perhaps the biggest component, because it is 22 days, is the recovery. You have to recover. I mean, when I get on the bike every day, I don't really feel like I've just done 15 days if it's in the 16th day. I have this some gift, whatever it is, and I train it as hard as I can, and I prefer to think that it's the guts and the heart, the guts that made you work so hard, and the heart that gave you the will to win.
The doctrine of preemptive action and the athletic skills of Lance Armstrong when we continue.
From our studios in New York City, this is Charlie Rose.
The Bush administration announced a new version of its national security strategy yesterday, calling for preemptive use of military force. The strategy also underlines a right for the United States to retaliate with nuclear weapons in case of a biological or chemical weapons attack. Joining me now from Washington is David Sanger. He is a White House correspondent for the New York Times. And with me here in New York is Max Boot. He is the Olin Senior Fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations. He is also the author of The Savage Wars of Peace, Small Wars and the Rise of American Power. I am pleased to have both of them here. I should say that what's really important in terms of this preemptive thing is the use of nuclear weapons. Seems to me to be the real news coming out of what's happened on preemptive action in the last couple of days. I'll get some conversation about that. I want to go to North Korea, David, because you just told me a fascinating story that's been happening today. We all know yesterday that well, you tell the story, David.